Hi guys and welcome to the next tutorial. As you can see, I'm showing my face for the first time in the history of my YouTube channel. So I hope you're gonna like this new feature because from now on I'll be using a camera. So today I have a special tutorial for you guys because I've had many requests and questions about the sample and hold technique, how I use it, when I use it, and why it sounds so good. So today I will try to answer all of those questions. But before we start working on this technique, I would like you to listen to the sequence that I prepared for this tutorial. So let's have a listen to it. Okay, so as you can see, and here we have two parts in the sequence, part A and part B. We have a question, we have the answer, and here, as you can see, I took this lead and chopped it a little bit to create a space for this sample and hold sound. So I will use Harmor, and I will use the basic saw wave, and I will show this technique using filter frequency. So I will choose the bandpass filter. I will set this value to 50%, and now I will go to the envelope section, to this filter. And this line here, this darker line here, represents 1 bar. And as you can see, it has 16 sixteenths. So now this is a basic LFO-like wave that we can use for a filter. So let's listen to it. Now the sample and hold is actually a function or a modulation that goes like from one value to another instantly. So I'm not a physicist and I won't explain very details to you guys, but I want to show you just a basic idea how to use this sample and hold technique at this time for the filter. But basically in Harmor you can use it for any type of filter, for resonance, for example, a fixed amount, or for even a pitch. Anyway, we will focus on this filter modulation. So let's draw some kind of a function. And as you can see, this value is jumping to another value instantly every 16. So we have like 16 jumps from one value to another in 1 bar. Now let's listen to this. Okay, so if we want it to be constantly working, we can click this arrow here and make it all loop. So when I press the button on my keyboard now, it will be repeating all this 1 bar sequence. First of all, I will go 1 octave down. Now if I move the position of this filter, it will be modulated in higher frequencies, and if I move this filter down, it will be modulated in the lower parts of this frequencies. So I will go back to the 50% value of this filter. And of course, I can use the width knob, which will be affecting the wideness of this filter. I like when this filter is very narrow. And when we use the delay, now we will have this spatial effect. So let's listen to it. Okay, so now we have this sample and hold technique applied to the filter, and it's going to be repeated every 1 bar. So if you want it, for example, to be changing in time, we can go to the LFO section and set some kind of a subtle LFO, for example, like this. And now this subtle LFO will change a little bit of the position of the filter, so we won't have the same sequence every bar. So let's just put it in here. And I will put it for 1 bar length, just as we created this sample and hold modulation in Harmor. And now let's listen to this part. I will start here just with the riser. So let's listen to this. Okay, I think it sounds very good. However, let's go back for a second to our modulation, our sample and hold modulation, and let's listen to it for a second. Now, if you use this knob, you can actually set the range of this modulation, because now we have the maximum level for this modulation. If we decrease it, we actually decrease the value of the sample and hold, and the modulation actually is working in more narrow parts of the frequency spectrum. But I like it actually to be modulated a little bit wider. Let's listen to it once again. Okay, I think it sounds very good. So basically, this is everything that I use for my sample and hold sounds. Of course, I don't only use this sample and hold modulation for the filter. I use it also for different parameters like pitch, like a phaser, like the FX amount, and basically any parameter you want. So it's very useful, especially in PsyTrance music. So I prepared 4 different types of sample and hold sounds that I created before, and I want to show you how complex sounds you can create using this type of modulation. Let's listen to them. Okay, now let's check the other one. let's check the other one. Okay, and the last one that I prepared is here. Okay, so that's basically it. As I said, the technique is very simple, and you can use actually very different plugins, not only Harmor, because the same function you can have in Serum, you can have in Ana 2. You can also use just a simple automation inside your DAW for any parameter that you want to modulate. And as you can see, it can create a very, very complex sounds that are very useful for PsyTrance music. So I hope you like this tutorial. Have a good day. Peace.